Okay, I know what you're all thinking. How was that game a failure? It's the original Mario Brothers for Atari or whatever system you played it on, arcade, and it's obviously not crap. So the people out there who are spazzing out right now saying, "You're a jerk, you're an idiot, this game's not a fail, you're a fail," you can calm down. And no, I'm just joking. What I've considered the failure about that game was just the music. Did you hear how awful the music was? It's not just an emulated version that caused that either. I have two different versions of that game, and that one had crappy music and the other one had normal, so I don't know why. I just want to point out how the music was a failure, so calm down. Anyway, going to this now, this game you're watching right now is called Transylvania. You may have seen me review this briefly when I did a classic and worst games episode for Atari XL XD. This game I used to play a lot as a kid, but back then I didn't know all the commands, I didn't know what I had to do, I didn't bother sitting down and trying to figure it out. I just played it for a little bit because it creeped me out whenever the werewolf showed up and ate me, so I don't know. I never got too far in this game as a kid. So recently I was thinking, you know what, I have the internet, there's tutorials for games everywhere, specifically I go to GameFAQs.com. For all my tutorials, and I thought, what the hell, I'm gonna see if I can find one for this game, and there was one tutorial for this Transylvania game. It was right most of the time, but there's glitches you'll see later on. I'll explain that this tutorial wasn't 100% accurate. So I'm like, screw this, I'm gonna beat this game. After all these years, since I was 6 years old, I always wondered what it was like to beat this game. I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. I mean, why not? The game can't be that long. Here's one glitch right here. See that werewolf? It said Mr. Wilson's eye. Again, I might have pointed that out in my brief review before. But for some reason, this emulated version is glitchy whenever it shows characters or monsters in front of you. I have no idea why. Like, for example, the werewolf here. Mr. Wilson's eye? Why does he show up as Mr. Wilson's eye? Why is he not fully rendered? I don't understand. But he looks kind of creepy when he's fully rendered. But when I was a kid, for the longest time, I didn't know how to kill him. I didn't know what he had to do. Like, if you punch him in the face or kick him or anything like that or tell him off, he'll rip you apart and you're dead. But I guess I just found out you have to get a bullet from that coffin you saw, get this gun in the attic, and you shoot him, and he's dead. And I'm like, wow, all these years I had no idea how to kill him, and now I finally do. So now it doesn't seem so scary anymore when he's dead, but why would he? So, that was my biggest thing when I was a kid. Like, how do you get rid of the werewolf? Like, if he shows up too many times, no matter what you do, he'll kill you. So it's like, what the hell? But now I know. But the whole objective of this game, I guess, is to save the Princess Sabrina, wherever she may be, and bring her back. But again, when I was a kid, I didn't bother paying attention to that. I just explored and wandered around and see how long I can get by before the werewolf killed me. But yeah, this is one of those games I played as a kid that I was really interested in, that freaked me out. Like, watching it now, it's stupid, it's just Atari, but it scared me as a kid. And now I finally beat this game all the way through. There's other games like this too for Atari that I found that creeped me out. There's one called Asylum. If you ever play any emulated Atari games, look up one called Asylum. I don't know why the only reason it scared me, because there's a title screen. It shows some weirdo's face as a title screen when it was loading. And the only thing funny about that game, like, actually going back to this for a second, here's a vampire. All you see is a purple dot. I have no idea what the vampire ever looked like otherwise. I never got to the vampire before. So, but of course I'll never find out now because the emulated version's all glitched out. So it's not scary at all when you see, here's a vampire, it's a purple dot, or a pink dot, don't know my colors. And you show him across and he dies. Just like in the old Hammer films. With Peter Cushing, which I only started watching because of AVGN, because of the nerd. I only took interest in those movies because he reviewed them. So anyway, otherwise, let's go back to the Asylum game. The funny thing about that is, if you type in fart in that game, which I thought was hilarious when I was a kid, right? You're 6 years old. The word fart just makes you laugh. If you type in fart in that game, you fly, like if you're in a hallway, you fly all the way to the one hallway, end of the hallway to the other. Makes no sense. I thought that was hilarious about the game. It's the only reason I played it. Otherwise, these typing games I never ever understood as a kid. I didn't know what the commands were. Nothing worked. I didn't care that much. And this guy too, this goblin here. I never knew what to do to get rid of him. Give him that key, and then you say "Idge Ned," and he drops the key and runs away. I don't know why. I don't know where you get itchnet from. Like, where do you pick up that term to know to say it to him? I don't know. Tutorial never said. And that's the problem with the tutorial. Sometimes it would say go west or go east or whatever, and you won't see it here because I cut it out. But half the time I was going the wrong direction. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, why does it say go east when it's supposed to be going west here and stuff like that? Like, there's a lot of glitches in that tutorial, but the guy who made it probably didn't care. He's the only one who bothered. And he's like, oh well, it gets you to where you're going for the most part, and it did. I figured it out. And because the tutorial was correct 80% of the time. But there were times when it got me going to the wrong direction. As you'll see coming up, there'll be a flying saucer part, which I have no idea if there's even a point to it. If the flying saucer part's just like an Easter egg in the game, or you actually have to try and go inside of it, which you'll see soon. It's not coming up yet, but I got lost trying to find it, because in the tutorial it'll say, go straight to this area where the flying saucer is, but when you get there, there's no flying saucer. So I was like, okay, the tutorial says it should be here. Why is it not here? So I found that if you keep going in circles until text comes up on the screen and says, you see a shooting star, that's when you know to go to that area, and that's when the spaceship lands. But the tutorial never said that. It did mention the phrase, you see a shooting star, but didn't say, you can't find a flying saucer until you see that text. It didn't say anything like that, so I eventually figured it out. And probably wasn't even a crucial part to the game at all, because I don't see why it would be. It's just neat, I guess. But yeah, like any Atari game, the ending to this game is nothing spectacular. You'll see. It's just, well, of course, it's just text. And it just says, yeah, you win. So I wasn't expecting a fabulous ending, of course. In this part of the game with the statue, I cut out everything, but it kept saying in the tutorial, wave ring, and that's all it said. And I kept waving the ring before, and it wouldn't work. I'm like, why the hell is this not working? So I tried wearing it and then waving it, and it wouldn't work. So like, why the hell is this not working? I don't understand. The tutorial doesn't say anything else. And I found out that cloak you find in that cabin you just saw, you have to wear that first, then wear the ring, can't talk, and then wave it. The tutorial doesn't say any of that stuff. It's like, okay, thanks. I eventually figured it out, but still. And again, this part of the game too, I don't know what the point is. You wave your ring at it, the statue comes to life, grabs your ring, and then blows up, and okay. So I wonder if you try to save the princess before doing that, does that something bad happen? I have no idea. I'm not sure if that's relevant either, it's just for fun, but it must be relevant to some extent. So, once you destroy the statue, I think this is where I go back to the castle, and I save the princess now. I don't remember now. But otherwise, yeah, I know you people were looking forward to a worst game episode, and I'm gonna make one soon. It's just something like this is very easy, and all I have to do is talk really and do some minor editing, and it's easy. Whereas the worst game stuff I try to make more elaborate and more detailed and funny. So just calm down. They'll come out eventually. It's just, like I said a million times before, I don't ever have any time to do this stuff. Like, the only reason I'm doing this right now is because my family went out somewhere for a bit, so I have time to talk. Anyway, so here's a flying saucer, and once you go in it, all it does is, I guess, you start to get on board, but disappears before you can, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, was there any relevance to this, or it's just supposed to be an Easter egg or something that's neat that they had you do? So, now I think this is where you go save the princess, I don't remember. But of course, when you see the princess, she doesn't fully render. It looks glitchy. It's like, oh, she's supposed to be hot apparently, but they can't even see her face because the emulated version doesn't fully render the characters. I don't know why. But still, if you ever were like a kid, if you ever were alive in the 80s like I was when you played Atari, maybe you'll want to watch this and just go through the walkthrough that I went through here and beat it for yourself just for fun. Because if you're anything like me when you were a kid, you had always played certain games that you never could get anywhere with or figure out. And now that you're an adult, you're like, well, why not just beat it now? Just for the hell of it. It's one of those games you've always wanted to beat and get through, just to see what happens. Or just to say you beat it. This is one of those games I always remember growing up, but never bothered to do anything about until now. And even though I did beat it, kind of cheating. Actually, I was cheating because I went through a tutorial, or a walkthrough, I should say. It still feels satisfying that I finally beat this game and I can put it behind me. But yeah, it was an interesting game for its time, and it makes you wonder how long games like these took to create, and how much detail work went into them. Because these games, they show, like they're actually, like they show like all the work and effort people actually put into games back then, even, and it really does show. It's for me, this was a good quality game back in the day. Here's a glitch of the princess. I don't know what the hell happened there. I'm not sure if that's a typo either. Happenin' babe. Like, I know happenin', but is that how you spell happenin'? You know, happenin' is probably not a real word anyway. I thought it'd be happening, babe. But no one says it happening, they say happenin'. Anyway, the game's just about done. This is me just walking back now to where the sailboat is and sailing the boat and going to deliver the princess. So, for what it's worth, I hope you enjoyed this Classic Games episode. If you're at all an Atari fan, you might appreciate this. Otherwise, you're probably just going to sit there and complain again, saying, "Come on, come up with the worst games episode already. Holy crap." Yeah, I will. Just give me a while, and it'll come out eventually. So, anyway, don't get me wrong. I appreciate you guys. I'm really glad you're still paying attention and watching and waiting for them. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. It's just not that I'm trying to make up excuses. I just don't have time. I really don't. So, stay tuned. Sooner or later it'll come out. And yup.
I am Dracula, and I welcome you to my house.
Count Dracula? I'm afraid I don't understand.